to the Tobepod Music Edition with my guitarist from Nuclear Vortex.
Hey everyone.
Nightmare Freddy.
Yeah.
Today we are going to talk about the song Kinetic Bombardment Ballad, about writing it, about playing it live. We have a fair few stories and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, the song Kinetic Bombardment Ballad, initially it came about as a song that I wrote the main riff for to help a friend with one of his compositions for one of his school assessments. And it just went into a proper song that we liked because the riff was quite interesting. Initially I was just messing around, playing on the E string, then going down to the, the B, and, just sort of a bit of
G and B
thing. And yeah, it's just interesting to play it. And since then we've had an interesting song. I mean, Freddie, I understand you've done a fair bit on it as well, so please tell us about that.
Yeah, so after you wrote the most part of the song, me and Aiden got together and wrote the breakdown, and we wrote that maybe a couple of months after I'd learned the song in full, just to give it some more finishing touches, add some more stuff to it, and eventually we were going to put that on the official recording, but of course that got scrapped. But we did write the breakdown. I had an outro solo in the end, and we just wrote some guitar parts together as well. So that was my input.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those songs where with my music teacher, who I previously mentioned, I'd sort of played her the riff and she thought it was interesting. But the issue is because it's a sort of strange off-rhythm thing, what I ended up doing was just not playing it with the bass when I play it live or with her. Like with her, I tried multiple times to play it with the bass and the vocals, but it just didn't work. And I mean, Freddie,
yeah, I think
do it in terms of playing it on guitar, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think that's a noteworthy point. You try and sing it just by yourself without playing bass because the rhythms are kind of weird. They're on 3 and 6 as opposed to 2 and 4, which means it's kind of syncopated, but it's still good. I love it. What I find about KBB is that it sort of defines our sound as a whole. I think it's the most representative song of our whole Nuclear Vortex discography, I think. I don't know why I feel that way, but it just seems to be. Maybe it's just a great solid riff and then, typical vocals from you and things like that. And it just all comes together and it's a great song, which personally is my favorite out of our whole catalog.
Well, I would say that is most probably due to the fact that it's not just a sort of 8/8 or 4/4,
exactly.
whatever you want to call it, but it's just that interesting, as you say, syncopated thing. And, especially the way that the lyrics slightly fit into that. I mean, obviously not entirely because I can't play it on bass and sing at the same time. Maybe that's just down to human error on my part. But it really is quite interesting if you think about the rhythm of the vocals, because I don't just sing looming back in the dark depths of space. I sing looming back in the dark depths of space, a lethal force to annihilate a race, no propulsion dead other than gravity, and as opposed, and that's like also not 8/8 singing, is it? Or 4/4?
It's not. It gives it a little bit of swing, how it's ever so slightly behind the beat, and I think that's what makes it stand out from the others. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's one of our shorter songs, so it's quite just hard hitting, straight in your face, and it's over in a second. If you blink, it's gone. It's one of those kind of songs, so I think it's great from that perspective.
Yeah. In terms of on the bass, I have that part where I go up on the D string. I play, first of all, I play the riff 2 times normally. No, sorry, I play the riff 4 times normally. Then I play the riff, like I play E, E, A, E, E, A thingy. I play that like.
Yeah, it goes up to the octave E.
Yeah, then I go D, then I play 2 E's, and I play E, then I play 2 E's.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And then obviously I play it normally one more time. Then I do the same thing, but I only play 2 of the normal thing. And then I play the D, C, E, and then also C. So,
yeah, I think switching. Sorry, you go?
Yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say switching it up like that makes it a bit more interesting, which is, again, why it's one of my favorite songs that we have.
But also with the F, that leads perfectly into the chorus. Because
it does, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it just goes up in that sort of chromatic thing from the E to F, which is really good too.
Yeah,
And then,
precisely.
yeah, I want to ask you a question about the chorus. Why does it, go from the F to up to the G and then down to the D before you start singing? Was that intended, like the sort of the gap without the vocals before the vocals come in?
Well, yeah, it's just because it would sound very silly, like singing what I sing is raining down from space with relentless force.
Force,
That
yeah,
would that wouldn't fit well in with the whole thing of it going from F to what is it F then the fifth fret, which is the D. Yeah,
G,
exactly. G.
yeah, G on the
Yeah,
D
but it
string,
goes F G and then it goes
yeah,
to D.
to D, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wouldn't fit in. You're right. Yeah. So when it comes to playing KBB live, right? I think we always put it second after Missile Silo. Why do we do that? I'm not really sure.
I
Is
think
that
it's
just
just because missile silo, especially from my bass perspective, I do a lot of heavy low E's, and also with the
yeah,
whole thing of meaning that heavy, heavy, heavy E at the end of missile silo. I think it's refreshing to maybe have a song, at least presently, where we don't have like heavy bass in it, and
exactly. Yeah.
also because in missile silo, while I am capable of doing both vocals and playing at the same time,
Mhm.
it still is somewhat difficult for me, and so I can't focus on one thing. Whereas with KVB, when I focus on my singing, it comes out really, really well.
Mhm. All right, because yeah, I know it sounds great. I always love listening back to these old recordings of you singing it. It's brilliant. So it's not like the order they were written or anything. It's just that's how it kind of came out spontaneously.
Well, if we're going by the order it was written, I think KVB was the fourth or fifth song I wrote.
Okay, right. So it's quite far back then. What are we talking? 2018,
Well, at least
17?
in terms of lyrics, yeah. At least in terms of lyrics, 2018, I think.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
also,
that's great.
I mean, what I was talking about beforehand with the with me going up to the D and the E, you play something very different there, don't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, what I do there is I've kind of switched it up when I learned the riff. I go from a C to a B down to an A, G, F sharp, E, and it's not quite chromatic, but it kind of goes down the E minor scale. And then when you go up to the octave E, I'm on the low E on my guitar, and those notes actually match. So the octave E on the bass is the same note as my bass E on guitar. So that gives quite a nice harmony. Well, it's not a harmony, but it gives quite a nice effect when the two E's come together just before the chorus.
And
So
Aiden
that's what
mirrors what I do on bass, doesn't he?
Say that again.
Aiden mirrors what I do on bass, doesn't he?
He mirrors what you do in bass, and then when you add all those three elements together, especially for the recording, I don't know, it just gives a really full, thick sound. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is though, with the drumming though, I mean,
Yeah,
Tony does a phenomenal job when we play it live. However,
no
when
doubt. Yeah,
when I go to record the drums for it, what I'm going to do is play it the more syncopated style because my drum teacher has been teaching me a lot of these syncopated songs. And basically, my drumming is centered around playing basically two basses and playing the snare on this sort of three that we got because the
yeah.
rhythm is basically 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1
Three,
2
1 2 3, 1 2 3. Yeah,
3 1
exactly.
3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 and basically just managing to get the snare every time on the three whilst
Yeah.
going consistently with something like the hi-hat. I mean, it's actually got an added layer of difficulty to it, but I
Hmm.
think I can manage that.
Yeah. It also makes my when I come to doing my outro solo, it makes it a lot easier because for a guitarist, when you want to play quickly, I guess you often do triplets, which are three notes played in succession really quickly, and that helps because since everything is kind of based in the 3/6/9 format, like sort of triangular numbers, it makes playing guitar solos a lot easier. So I can solo, with ease really quickly over the top, and it doesn't sound too sloppy at all. So it works better than Missile Silo or the Mighty Rock and Roll in that case.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not really, I'm not really in the know in terms of the solos and stuff. Tell us about the solos that you do, the breakdown as well.
Okay, so I think we'll start off with the first one of the three I'm going to talk about, which is what I play underneath Aiden's solo. And underneath that one, it's kind of a mix between a lot of E minor chords, a lot of G minor chords, and it kind of just goes chromatically between the two. So climbing up from the E up to the G and then back down again. and Aiden kind of plays the main riff higher up, like 3 octaves higher as his solo. So it kind of reflects the main riff, which sounds really good. Then for the breakdown, it's all in the same sort of group of chords again, where I use the B down to the A, then up to the B, then down to the G, and then G back down to the E. Then we break out into the main riff again, which then leads into the pre-chorus or the chorus. Then for my solo, I'm soloing on top of E and G, just those two chords played one after another, and I'm playing the triplets up from E to G, just repeated like that really quickly: E, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G. And it changes a little bit, but that's roughly how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope I could shed some light on that.
What I do, of course, in the solo is I actually contradict the sort of third triplet structure that the rest of the song has. I just go into full eighths mode with what I do, and I just play around with the notes that I would normally play on bass, but I just play them in terms of eighths. And I think what I do is E, G, then A, then I go chromatically down from C back to A sharp.
Okay. All right. So you're adding the blues notes in there then, the A sharp. Yeah.
Basically.
I guess I've never really heard you play that part actually, because when we play it live, you never play it. So it'd be interesting to hear that. Yeah, it's a shame it didn't make the cut on the EP, but we just didn't have time because we were too assiduous when it came to recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I will share a story though of how we were meant to record KBB, and we were sitting in the band practice room one day. We'd pretty much penned down Missile Silo, and I started on the main riff while you and Tony and Aiden were just sitting there chilling out. And Tony broke the silence by just saying, "Well, about recording the EP. What are we going to do?" And it kind of took us a minute to process that, and we're like, "Oh man, shit, we got to scrap what we've done." So I guess we kind of left it where it was. So it is half recorded, or at least most of my guitar parts are done. So I wonder if that will ever surface one day, see the light of day, but who knows. So it's not like we only got Missile Silo done. I'm pretty sure I recorded some guitar parts for KBB. And of course, we'll talk about what happened to Stealth Tank later on in the next episode, but that's what happened for KBB.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I was hoping to get that one done, but
massive.
It is what it is.
Tony for letting us use his mic.
Yeah, no, yeah, big thank you to him. That's great. I remember we were kind of paranoid about what we would do. We don't have a mic, and Mr. Lowe wasn't getting his stuff set up, and we weren't really sure what to do. And then Tony came and saved the day by lending us his mic, so that was brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you're recording drums from home, because it would have been a real pain to mic up every single drum in the kit.
Especially if we were using that faulty one with the faulty bass.
Yeah, we'd never used that one. No, I'm not even a drummer, and I can't stand playing on that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
just if I can elaborate on what I'm doing on the drums.
Yeah, go ahead.
Essentially, what I am doing is I am playing bass, bass, snare, 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 while maintaining a constant rhythm on the hi-hat or cymbal or whatever I'm going to play. So it would be like.
And then for the chorus, I've got a question. So
Yeah.
How in Missile Silo you told Tony when playing it live, obviously not for the record, but when you were playing it live, that he was supposed to do a sort of tom fill while we're doing the do bit, right? So I wonder, is there a similar thing in KBB or not?
Well, in terms of what exactly?
I just meant like a sort of tom fill during the chorus. You know how you're going raining down from space with relentless force. And then if you look back on one of our live videos, you'll see he does that tom fill. Is that what you wanted him to do or not?
To be honest, as I have elaborated before, Missile Silo and Stealth Tank are my babies. I really more about those than do about any of the other songs. Yeah. So actually, if Tony has an idea in terms of that, I'll gladly
you just let him go for it.
I'll gladly implement it. Yeah.
Which is why you're so keen to let me do my guitar overdubs for that song. So that's brilliant. Change it up slightly. Yeah.
It's not one of my babies.
Yeah. It's just I think Missile Silo and KBB would go really well together as a single. KBB as the B-side.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. If such a thing as a B-side still existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Mummy, what's a B-side?
Side.
I'll tell you when you finish eating your toast. But Marmite on it. I don't like Marmite on it.
I remember having to ask those questions.
That's why the mallard didn't survive.
Yeah,
What mallard? Don't ask.
yeah. Remember when we were going to open for the junior drama company, right? We were going to
Yeah.
play KBB as a sort of opening act song for them, and then we got turned down.
Yeah, but Freddie, please explain what that was about, so there's
All
a
right.
bit of context.
Okay, I'll give you a bit of context. So, what that was about was that I was supposed to be acting in some stupid play, and to sort of, damage my reputation a bit less, make sure that I was, still came across as trustworthy. I decided to, you asked me if you wanted to play as an opening act for this show, which was called Honk, and I accepted because I wanted to. But when we approached it to the leader of Honk, he said no. He turned us down, and so eventually we couldn't play.
Freddie, explain why that's significant.
All right. Why is significant? Well, we wanted to play KBB in particular because in one of the lines, as you very well know, it said mallard in it, which is obviously to do with the whole theme of the play, which is called Honk, which is all about ducks and things like that, right? So I don't know if the audience would have noticed that, but that's why we wanted to do that one song.
To be fair, that line only came about because I couldn't find a good rhyme for ballad, and I like ducks, so I just wanted to implement mallard into one of the things,
Exactly. Yeah, why not? Yeah. It's a shame you made it die, though. You could have made it the only animal which lived on.
Well, yeah, but how would that have sounded? Everything but the mallard. No, everything.
No, you never know.
No, everything dies but the mallard. Yeah, I guess that would have worked.
It could have worked. You never know.
Everything dies but the mallard. This is the Kinetic Bombardment Ballad.
It's not too late to change it.
No, to be fair, we've not gone into recording yet.
Well, not for the vocals anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think at this point we'll have a break and play you a version or a demo of our Kinetic Bombardment Ballad, which shows you just how much I enjoy ducks.
Yeah, and I think I might point out that, well, this is more of a recording that we did during a band practice session, so don't expect it to be perfect or anything like that. It was more just messing around, and if you actually saw the video, you'd see what we mean. But anyway, yeah, go ahead with that. Go for it.
KBB.
KBB.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They'll be back in the deck of the pond. These ducks will never respond. The whack, the all the red. In the end, you'll end up dead. These ducks are vicious in nature. They will kill any creature. The bread you throw has no remorse, nothing remains, not even a child. This is the Kinetic Duck Rampage. Every single little mallard destroyed, all the ducks have been deployed. As your bread is right below, never again you'll have anything to show. These ducks which have devoured all your bread will make you wish that you were dead. Coming from the pond with relentless force, these ducks will show you no remorse. Nothing remains, not even a mallard. This is the Kinetic Duck Rampage.
Why?
I like ducks.
But the mallard already got its reference in the chorus, and he said duck every other word.
Yeah, I like ducks.
So we're back. We hope you enjoyed that song about, well, more ducks than anything else. I should note that all the lyrics in that were entirely improvisational. The whole looming back in the depth of the pond. These ducks will not respond to any Oh, the bread you throw. I don't know the rest of it, but like it was entirely improvisation.
It wasn't too bad.
Basically,
I think I lost focus on guitar trying to listen to what you were saying there.
at this stage, I'm a freestyle rapper, except I make good music.
a freestyle screamer, I guess.
More like just a freestyle musician.
Yeah. I mean, most of my parts for that were improvised too, because I don't think at that point I knew the whole song off by heart. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. I remember recording that.
So,
and then of course we did a version with Tony on drums, which was probably a more official demo, which has gone onto YouTube. Right.
I guess at this point we should talk about like properly playing it live. I mean, as we talked about before, we do it as our second song in the set after Missile Silo.
Yeah.
For the aforementioned reasons. And what were your sort of fun experiences of playing it live, Freddy?
My experience, well, I mean, it was my favorite song. I think the riff is just, I think it's fun to play, how it's in the sort of 3/6/9 pattern. And what's especially fun is towards the end of the first and second verse, how you sort of jump up and then come down again, and the music kind of goes to, slows down to a halt and then picks back up again. I find that really cool. It was great fun to play. I mean, as with any other songs, it's, just lots and lots of fun. It's a great experience. Yeah.
I mean, like, I think, what I sometimes do is I sing it, right? And then, like last time we did it live, I also afterwards did the bass line to it, although my bass was horribly out of tune.
I remember,
so audible. I don't even know how it went out of tune that badly. Like,
it must have been from Stealth Tank or something, tuning down into C, right? And then when you tuned it back up, it dropped a little bit, so maybe it went to E flat.
Yeah.
Because when you just tune up straight away without repeatedly doing it like that, then it kind of goes out of tune pretty easily.
Yeah, but the other strings are also out of tune, so I have no idea what happened there. If anyone who listened to that is currently watching, I do apologise for making you listen to that horrible, horrible noise.
Well, we didn't have a great audience turnout on that show, to be honest.
Still better than rap, but
Yeah. Well, I was saying we didn't really have many people coming to see that show, so it wasn't too bad a failure, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I must say that it is a very fun song to play when I'm just in the singing.
Honestly, beats me how you don't like it as much as the others. I find it great.
No, I know. It's just, as I said, Missile Silo and Stealth Tank are my babies. And
is it mainly because you wrote it for someone else as opposed to, for your own enjoyment?
In essence, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love playing it, but just not as much as I love playing Missile Silo and Stealth Tank.
Yeah. Maybe it's because of the frustration having, failed trying to sing and play bass at the same time. Who knows?
That could be it. But still, I'm just saying, playing it when we play it live and me just jumping around on stage doing stuff is just incredibly fun.
Yeah, you feel more like a lead vocalist then as opposed to a bassist.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, honestly, that was great. A great show. I loved it.
Last time we played it, I was just having so much fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see it if we rewatched that video. It's just amazing how everyone's moving around. I don't know what happened we said last time that we discussed Tony dropping his sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened was the first time after the first chorus, he dropped it on the Kinetic Bombardment Ballad lyric, and then he picked it right back up again for the second verse. And then after that, just before Aiden's solo, he dropped it again. And when you tried to give him the stick back, he threw it at him and hit him in his glasses or something, and he fell off the chair.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a card game, honestly.
I was trying, but there's nothing really I could do.
Yeah. And then we just had to swiftly move on to the next song.
Yeah. I mean, that was just annoying, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh well. It's a shame we cut it short because we still had the breakdown to do and everything else, and that would have been quite fun. But
yeah, your new parts that had been previously unreleased just got cut short because Tony couldn't catch a stick. Or Well, I think, like as I was saying last time, right? I,
Yeah.
I dropped a stick when I was playing drums once live, but that is not a reason to stop, right? And as a band, you have to, like, I know this may sound like I'm pointing fingers. I'm not, but I'm just saying, generally speaking, as a band, if your bandmate fucks up, you have to compensate around that, right? If he can't compensate around that himself or herself.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't really think it's his fault, but yeah, you never know.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm saying, just generally speaking, maybe
In
as a
general.
band we should have like done more to compensate around it, just like acted as though it was part of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And that way we could have gone on to playing it more. I mean, I don't know. I'd say we're all partial to playing because
I
we
mean,
all
partly it was my fault too because I stopped the underlying riff. But that's honestly because I didn't really know what was going on.
Well, I think it's
And then
also
I just had to stand
because-
awkwardly there while you ran up to our cameraman and started screaming random shit.
not random. I was saying, Übung geht immer super, auch wenn es keine Übung ist. Nicht wahr, Anti-Peewee? Davon könnt ihr ein Lied singen.
Ah, you've got the whole rant memorized.
Practice always goes perfect, even when it's not perfect. Isn't that
Yeah.
right, Anti-Peewee? You can sing a song about that.
Wow. But I think as for the other times they played it live, it always went well. But at those points, I hadn't, written the extra guitar parts, so no one really heard those. And again, they won't be released on the EP. It'll just be a single Missile Silo, so it won't be heard. That's a shame.
Yeah. Well, still,
Yeah.
I mean, for the future.
I mean, we'll see what the deal with Modulate is. Maybe if we get, some of it finished, they would be happy to put out a sort of a small collection of unreleased songs, unreleased demos, unreleased pre-recorded songs, things like that. You never know.
I mean, I can make sure to record bass vocals and drums for all of that.
Well, yeah. Well, I was thinking we could just leave it as it is and just send off. Well, this is not for the official release, but just send it off as a side project. Just what we have right now. Because the guys at Modulate are very, willing to take in what we have.
But what do we have?
Well, we got some recorded parts for Stealth Tank, which we'll talk about later. Some for KBB. And we've got a scrap version of Missile Silo, and we cut it because I didn't like how I was playing the riff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think this is worth mentioning since we're in the KBB topic, how me and Aiden both switched up the riff. So originally it started with just single notes, playing just a single E, and then it turned into power chords, and then from there it turned into octaves. So how I play the riff is by playing the two E's as an octave, and then the two G's, and then go through the riff all playing octaves. So it kind of morphed into one final riff, which we play.
I mean, I'll give you 3 guesses as to why the riff started as single notes, Freddy.
Because, well, I think I know why it is.
Well, enlighten us.
Because it started out as a bass riff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I was just saying how we originally played it as single notes, and me and Nathan thought, well, it wouldn't be good if we were just having single notes hammering on each time, so we kind of changed it to power chords and then to octaves afterwards.
I never said to Aiden play single notes.
Huh? Well, he was at the beginning.
What?
He was at the beginning.
But not because I told him to.
Well, I don't know about that, but that's what he was playing
What
single
do you
notes.
mean you don't know? But the point of a guitar is that you do more than one note at a time, unless you're doing like super fast solo stuff.
No, not necessarily, but that's that's what it was until we changed it.
I said do one note at a time, Aiden. Never said that.
Well, it's all right. Well, it's fine now because we never played it live that way.
Fortunately. Although the one time we did play it live, there was a different problem.
Yeah. Which we've discussed before.
Still, it's all in the past now. We're all friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, anything else to add about us playing it live?
Man, I'm not really sure. Well, I know we did a lot of renditions as band practice versions where we would just kind of mess up the riffs and things like that. But I guess those will leak someday. But other than that, no, there's not really much of it.
as you were saying, with us having fun with it, right? I mean, yes, I may not have as much fun with it as I have with Stealth Tank or Missile Silo. However, you must admit, we did have the most fun with it playing, in our band practice room.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think those were great
all,
times, honestly.
First of all, the Duck song that we just played, and then also
the other versions with the apples and everything.
Yeah, God, I can't even remember that one.
Yeah, you gotta look it up. I sent you the recordings. Anyway.
No, and then also the one with the clock.
Yeah, that one. Then the one with the headphones over my head and everything like that.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if they'll see the light of day, but it goes to show it's a very flexible song, and you can sort of squeeze it into any genre you like.
If you guys want to hear them, then just write in the comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Besides, we need filler music for these things. We're gonna play you various things from this, and yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But any suggestions for KBB or any requests or anything, just as Barney said, just let us know.
Yeah. No, I mean, do you have any fun sort of? What was the thing that you found most fun about playing it in the practice room or live?
KBB in particular. Wow, I think it's the main riff probably. Main riff because it's it's not too difficult to play, which means you can run around the stage while playing it, or at least move a little bit more, and I guess that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess also one main thing with that is the sort of, while it is, as you say, syncopated, the main beat is still very clearly there.
Yeah, exactly.
That even when I'm doing my vocals and I'm headbanging and stuff, I know when to headbang,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not like I'm just cluelessly running around stage and saying, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but also, going back to what we were talking about beforehand, the initial writing of it, when I play the chorus, when I wrote what was the chorus, because I think I wrote the chorus after I'd already given Aiden the main riff.
Yeah.
So I think what I ended up doing was this sort of transition, or rather bridge, between it that we've discussed beforehand. But then
it's the sort of chorus with no vocals, yeah.
What I did was I'd already by that point done a bit on Stealth Tank, and in the chorus of that, as we'll discuss in the next one, I did a certain thing, and with the KBB chorus, what I did was I did essentially that, except instead of going for the fifth of the root that I was playing the chord thing out of, I played the octave instead. That's why when I play, I think it's the fourth fret, that's a G sharp. I also play
F sharp. Oh no, sorry, on the E string, yeah, G sharp. Yeah.
G sharp. Then I play the thing that's 3 frets up from that. What's 3 frets up from G sharp?
G, A flat, A.
Yeah, you can tell
B. What am I talking about? B.
You can tell I'm an amazing drummer by my lack of knowledge of notes.
Yeah. No, A. No, I'm getting it wrong now. A, but I said originally
A. A. So I play G sharp, A, and then instead of playing the fifth of the G, which is the normal sort of standard, I'm playing stuff. Yay! Instead of doing that, I go for the octave, which gives it this strange but cool sound.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's kind of unusual for bass, but I think that's great. Yeah, as I said before we kind of wrap it up, I think it defines our sound, as a whole. Kind of sums up what we are, I guess, because you've got input from Tony, how you kind of let him do his own thing with the drums. Then you've got the riff, which obviously you wrote for Aiden. You've got the chorus, which Aiden kind of penned down. And then you've got all the extra added bits, which, I wrote, like the breakdown and the outro solo and the sort of changed up riff a little bit. So I think when you add all these things together, you get a sound which is representative of our band. And I think that's great.
Well, what I was saying was I play that part with the G sharp, the A, and the octave twice. Then I go exactly a string up and I play the C sharp. And what's 3 frets up from C sharp?
C sharp, D, E.
Yeah, then I play an E, and then I also play the octave of the C sharp. And then, instead of doing that a second time, what I do is I go back up to the G sharp, I play that, then I play the A, and then I go down to, then I go 1 string down, I play the C sharp, then I play the E, and then I go chromatically down.
Yeah.
Again, as we were saying,
Yeah, I think when you do the chromatic bits, I kind of do the opposite, but I go chromatically up, and so we end up on the octave notes. So when you go down, I go up, and we both end up at the octave notes again, which gives that sort of unison sound, which is what we're looking for.
Exactly.
And I think, well, I mean, since you kind of wrote the lyrics to everything, Aidan didn't really have much input in that. Can you just tell us what that's about? Because I think I know you talk about metal rods, so those metal rods which are really hot, which come and destroy things. But I know you know more about me. Tell us.
I'm going to be a bit ashamed of this now, and I'm probably going to start a flame war in the comments. I remember back in the day watching Matt Pat, i.e. Game Theory's video on Call of Duty Ghosts.
Okay.
About the kinetic bombardment that takes place in the start of that.
Yeah.
And I just found this concept of metal rods like being shot out of a satellite, going down to Earth, and like in terms of impact of the atmosphere, and all the momentum and Newton force they gain from going down, they can have a nuclear impact when they land. And I just found that fascinating.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, then the word ballad is kind of a misnomer in that case, because it's not really a ballad. In fact, it's one of our heaviest songs. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but ballad in terms of, like we're singing a song about
despair.
Everything dying due to that, which...
Despair, yeah. Lament, things like that. But yeah, I guess I don't know what else there is to say, except it's a killer song, and I love recording it, playing it. Just brilliant. And I wouldn't be surprised if, one day with my bands later on, or if I, play some shows as a solo artist, because I've got a solo album coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if I added it to the set list. Just played it for fun,
Yeah.
Out of all the Nuclear Vortex songs, that would be my first choice.
Anyway, on that note, I think we shall wrap it up there.
Yep.
And we shall leave you with a nice parting gift of one of the superior versions that we recorded. Again, trigger warning, there is a word in there that some of you might not like, but as I said before, I don't really care.
You don't really care.
See you guys, and see you later. Bye.
But any closing words?
Those were my closing words.
Those were your closing words. All right, then. Okay, well, enjoy it then.
Right.
All right, bye.
Kinetic auditive like in the dark of space, they don't fall strong annihilator race. The proportion needed, other than gravity, massive destruction. Capacity, these rods, metallic in nature, able to kill, all matters of creature. Ready to confess with relentless force.